All righty. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, today we are going to do something really fun, and I have someone that I would like for you to meet. Are you ready?
Yeah. What is that?
I'm the big bad wolf. All righty. I'm Mr. Wolf. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good? Well, it's very nice to meet you all. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about
You.
fairy tales, and I'm going to read you my favorite fairy tale, okay? So, who can tell me what genre a fairy tale falls in? Do you remember that word? Genre? Jonas?
Fiction.
Fiction, because it's not real, right? It's a fake story. It is a fiction, and it's actually a type of folk tale, okay? But generally, when we read fairy tales, we notice certain things. Can anyone tell me some things that are usually in fairy tales? Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes you can learn a lesson, like not to listen to people.
You're right. Sometimes they do teach you a lesson. Good.
Like there's magic in it. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes there's magic. You're right.
Sometimes they just entertain you.
Yeah, they're written for entertainment, right? To just let us have some fun reading. Good. Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes they let their imaginations go and they just make a crazy book.
Yeah, they're imaginative stories, right? They come from people's imaginations. A lot of times they have princes, princesses, queens, kings, royalty, and a lot of times they have talking animals, which is what we're going to see in our fairy tale today, okay? And actually, the fairy tale we're reading today is called a fractured fairy tale. Can you say that word?
Fractured fairy tale.
Good. And fractured fairy tales are meant to be silly. They're meant to be kind of funny, okay? And while I'm reading, I want you to think in your head. I want you to have this question in your head. Are all versions of fairy tales alike? Don't answer now. But just think in your head. Is every version of a fairy tale alike? Okay? And I have a job for you while we read. I can't huff and puff all by myself. So anytime you hear the word huffed, I want you to go and take a deep breath in. Let's practice. Ready? He huffed. Okay, and this book's a little different. Instead of puffed, I'm going to say snuffed. And this is what I want you to do. Sniffle your nose. Let's practice. He huffed. He snuffed. And when I say he sneezed, I want you to say achoo! Oh, you already knew. That's great. Okay, so let's practice. He huffed. He snuffed. He sneezed. Achoo! Okay, and then we got to get quiet so we can hear the story, okay?
Okay.
Alrighty. So today we're going to read the true story of the three little pigs. And the big bad wolf is going to read it to you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs. Or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. And look, the E is made out of bricks and twigs and straw.
From the house.
From the houses, very good. Okay. I'm Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. You know, if cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. Are cheeseburgers cute?
No.
But if they were, do you think people would call you Big Bad Holly?
No.
But, like I was saying, the whole Big Bad Wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. I love the letters. Look how cute they are, right? They're all made of different things.
I like the nose.
These are holding the little fries.
Yeah, they're really cute. Way back, once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. Look at me, being kind, making a birthday cake for my dear old granny.
Well, he can't do it because he has a cold.
Well, we'll see. So, I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of
Sticks.
not sticks, straw. Good. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw?
That is a really
So here I go down the road to borrow a cup of sugar, right?
That is a really, really fun neighbor.
So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called. Little pig! Little pig! Are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Are you ready? Okay. Well, I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed a great sneeze. Oh my goodness, look at that big sneeze.
You made a big sneeze, mister.
And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. This is my favorite drawing in the whole book. What is that?
A piggy's butt.
His butt. Okay, so I had to eat the pig, right? It was just laying there. I couldn't just leave it, huh?
Because they'll get all wrong.
All right. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of twigs, yes. I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, Wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chin.
Oh, he's actually doing that.
Look at his hairs on his chin.
Oh. Look at the tail.
Look at the tail. Yeah, he's in the window, right? Good observation. Good. Okay. His house looks a little bit sturdier, right?
Yeah.
A little bit better than the straw house. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on.
Oh, no.
I huffed. I snuffed. And I tried to cover my mouth, but I let out a great sneeze. Achoo! And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail, Wolf's honor. Have you ever heard someone say, Scout's honor? It's like kind of like saying, I promise, I'm telling the truth.
Spoon and a knife and forks.
Yep. So look, he's gonna eat the.
I don't think he's dead. I just think he just dug a hole.
You don't think he's
it
dead?
look like he's
Well,
dead.
this is the wolf's version of the story, and he's telling the truth.
Yeah, why would the wolf eat a pig?
That's what they eat. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. Good. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Wolf! Don't bother me again! How rude, right?
Just want some sugar.
Wait, is the pig looking? Oh no, he's.
Yeah, he's looking through that little peephole. Hey. Talk about impolite! He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear, sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. Achoo! Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. So rude.
Look at his face.
Oh my God! He just wanted a cup of sugar.
Yeah, how rude, right? So rude. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when someone talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing, achoo! And making a real scene. So look at the wolf. He's making a scene, right? He's going crazy. He's trying to knock the house down. He's sneezing, huffing, puffing. And the cops see him. What do you think they're going to do? Make a prediction.
Arrest him.
You think they're going to arrest him?
Probably give him sugar.
You think they might give him the sugar? That would be nice of them. Okay.
Give him the sugar in jail.
Let's see. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. And look, he's in the newspaper. The big bad wolf.
Dun dun dun. Wait. Oh, look in the jail. He's in jail. His humble underneath.
Maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. Where is he?
In jail.
In jail.
And that's a pig next to him.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Whose side do you believe? The sweet old wolf, I'm just so kind, I was framed. Or the original version of the 3 little pigs? Me? I was that convincing?
Yeah.
Do you believe the other one?
The other one because
Okay.
they're gonna eat.
Well, this fits perfectly with what we were talking about before we read, okay? So someone remind me, what are some qualities of fairy tales that you actually heard in this book? Before we read, we talked about some things that we usually see in fairy tales. What were some of them that we saw in this book? Yes, sir.
There was a true version, but not like the original version.
So it's a fractured fairy tale. It's meant to be silly. You're right.
Instead of huff and puff, he did huff, snuff.
Right. It's a little different. But listen to my question, okay? Ready? Listen one more time. Before we read, we talked about things that we usually see in fairy tales, like kings and queens, lessons. Okay, talking animals. Good. That's one of them. Let me read you a sentence. Way back in Once Upon a Time. Yes, ma'am.
Secret word. No.
Not sequence words, but it sets the setting, right? It tells us where it's going to take place. And usually, not all the time, fairy tales tend to use once upon a time. You're right. So those are different ways that you could tell this book was a what? A fairy tale, yeah, which is part of the folk tale genre. Can you give me an example of how this Three Little Pigs story was different from the normal Three Little Pigs story that you hear? Give me an example, or give me a way that this story was a little different than the normal Three Little Pigs story, or the original, or the most common. Yes, ma'am?
He sneezed. He had a cold.
He had a cold, right? And in the other version, we just think he's huffing, he's doing it on purpose, right?
He's just blowing.
Yeah, he's blowing.
That he ate the pigs.
He ate the pigs. You're right.
Instead
And in the
of
other
the
version,
pigs.
what do?
They
Run away.
to
But
the brick
he
house.
couldn't leave a perfectly good dinner there, right? Yes, sir.
You couldn't.
He was baking a cake for his granny.
Yeah, and in the other version, is he worried about a cake?
No.
No, he's not. Yes, ma'am.
And the other one, he went down the chimney.
Yeah, does he go down the chimney here? No, the police come. Okay, so let me ask you this. Now that you've heard this version of the
Not
Three Little
you.
Pigs, are all fairy tales alike?
No.
No, they're not, right? There's different versions. So can you make a connection to any other versions of fairy tales that you have read that are different from the original or the most common versions? Have you heard a different version of a fairy tale before?
I heard a few stories that's like the Three Little Pigs.
Okay,
Like the
so you've
Three
heard
Little
other versions of
Frogs.
this. Oh, the Three Little Fox. You're right. Yes.
Instead of Cinderella, there's a Cinderella skeleton.
The Cinderella skeleton. You're right. Yes, ma'am.
Alligators?
The three alligators.
Rapunzel.
Okay, but how was it a different version of Rapunzel?
Yes.
What?
Because there is this woman that actually took it, but the other version I couldn't really see that.
Okay, very good. Yes, ma'am.
The Three Little Wolves.
The Three Little Wolves. Yeah, where they switched the characters. How many of you have ever read? I can't remember the title of the book. It's like Little Red Riding Hood, but she's a cowgirl.
Oh
Yeah, that's one of them.
The Three Little Bears.
And you know, I know a lot of you have seen the movie Tangled, haven't you? That's kind of a play on Rapunzel. So, do all fairy tale versions have to be the same? No, but as long as they have some of the qualities of a fairy tale, they're still a fairy tale. They may be a fractured fairy tale like this one to make it funny. Okay, now I have a challenge for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take off my wolf hat while I explain it, and then I'll put it back on later. Okay, in just a minute,
But not yet.
I'm going to put you in small groups, and you're each going to get a container. They're different sizes and shapes, but the same things are in them all, okay? Your challenge today is going to be to build a house out of the materials in here that will withstand a huff and a snuff and a sneeze from me, the big bad wolf. Do you think you can do that?
Yes.
Okay. Here's some limitations. In your basket, you have a cute little character. This one happens to be
A giraffe.
a giraffe. There's like a cactus in one or two, and then I think there's a dolphin in another. This character has to go inside your house.
Oh no.
You have to protect this character while building your house. We're pretending they're like little piggies, right? You may use any of the materials in your basket, but only those materials. Each of you has Play-Doh. Each of you has some index cards, some popsicle sticks, and some paper clips, okay? So, those are the only materials you may use. And
Anything else?
here's another rule. You can break the sticks if that's what you want. You must work as a team. What does that mean? Yes.
That you have to work together.
You have to work together, right? Am I doing everything in my group?
No.
No, I might say, hey, what do you think about this idea? Or can you help me bend this card? Or whatever it happens to be, okay? I'm going to give you a time limit. I'm going to give you about 6 minutes. So you have to think fast and you have to work together well, okay? And then I'm going to come around And I'm going to try and huff and snuff and sneeze your houses down. Are you ready to take on this challenge?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. 1, come to this table. Leanna, you can join him. Ava S., you can join them. Giovanni, Holly, Alexa, go ahead and go to this table right here. 1, 2, the back table. 1, 2, this front table right here. Go ahead and start.
Maybe we could like break the stick and then like.
Ooh, I love the conversation I'm hearing at this group. They're talking about their plan.
What do you think we should do? Some Play-Doh and then some paper clips. Yeah, sure. Let's worry about the surroundings. Yeah, let's bend the cord. Oh, wow. That's yummy.
Did y'all come up with a plan?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh yeah, I know. So, do you guys
Remember, what has to go in your house?
this little cactus?
Your little character. Did you find your little character?
So this to hold the sticks up. Yeah, to hook them stick up to make sure they like stay together. Yeah, so like cement. Yeah, like cement. Kind of like cement. Pretty much cement. But fall into the lava.
You guys started building?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is try to corner them up and then put them on. Dang it. Did it. Great, just put it up to the, just put it in the middle for a minute. So we need more Play-Doh. Yeah, that's simple. We're gonna make it out of all the materials. Let me bend it. What are we gonna use these for? I don't know. We can only use them like little cannons. We can maybe like use them as a defenses for Miss Big Bad Wolf.
Defenses from the big bad wolf.
And like make a cage door and like put like the Play-Doh behind them, like and then make the door. I got it. I made the defenses.
Better make a decision because you have a time limit.
Oh no.
So start working.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4. We have 4.
Good.
We could maybe put them together.
Maybe. How do you use
Are y'all gonna build something to protect your character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Play-Doh over it.
Can we use glue or no?
No, whatever was in your bin. Wow, that's a tall house.
Make it this out of the floor so it's more sturdier.
Oh.
So we can
Have you been helping? Jonas, have you let Shania have some help?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
giving me the Play-Doh so I can stick it.
Perfect.
There.
Don't do that. Okay.
I would never do that.
She made the Play-Doh get stuck in here.
Okay. Y'all have a time limit. And I don't see a house yet.
I'm just gonna put this out. My popsicle sticks. The defenses are not gonna. And what if she accidentally blows herself back?
Guys, better hurry. I don't see a house.
Go, go, go! I told him that. I told him that we should start putting sticks down. They won't ditch me. Because we need to put all the Play-Doh on first. Hey, look.
Oh, good idea.
I love that Giovanni's encouraging his partner. He's saying, that's a good idea.
Bend that. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. That's a really great idea. It hurts.
Okay, this is your 2-minute warning. You have 2 minutes left.
Go, everybody. Over here. Okay, you finish all.
You might want to do a test and see if it stands up.
Wait. Only on the outlets, okay? No, don't cover the sticks. We got you. What are we gonna use the house as? Yes, great, Joey. Great job. That's perfect. We're just gonna do outlines. I'll keep it more stable. And we'll,
I like the word stable.
it'll
What's
keep
your...
it more sturdy and staying up easier.
Where the heck is our pig?
Where's our pig? Right here. Oh. But we'll put her in the middle, maybe at the end. Oh yeah, that's gonna be the floor, and we'll like put her right there.
Hey, you guys only have a minute left.
Guys.
And I don't see a big house going up.
I know. Yes. Okay. Okay. Everyone.
Mickey, we made a house.
Okay, guys.
House TV.
Okay. Okay. Defenses go. Go defenses. Yeah. Look at theirs. Look at theirs.
Don't worry about other people.
I have
Do
a
your
good
best.
idea. Bend it like that. I'll do the.
No.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
You finish in 30 seconds.
No, you can't use this. 30 seconds.
Go.
Yeah. So we can put the paper clips together.
Let's put that right. Try to get easy here, defenses.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Are you ready? Do you think it's going to stand up? Let's start with this group right here. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here I come. Ready? Good job! Did their house withstand the huff and the puff and the blow?
Yes.
Good job. How did y'all figure out how to do that? What were you thinking when you were doing it?
We used the Play-Doh to keep it
Are
together.
you listening?
Like glue.
Okay,
so
you
it
use the
could-
Play-Doh like glue to keep it together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty sturdy. Good job. Okay, clean up your stuff and put it back in there. Okay. This group, are you ready?
Okay. I'm just gonna watch this roll over here. Oh, that's a dolphin.
Yay! Good job. Okay. And what was y'all's strategy?
We used the Play-Doh to.
Giovanni, you guys need to be listening.
We used the Play-Doh for like our rooftop, and then we put some more popsicle sticks for protection.
For protection. Very good. Okay, clean up your stuff. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, y'all didn't even move.
Yes, it did. I saw it.
Look at that. Okay, what was y'all's strategy? What were you
For the
thinking?
walls, we folded the edges
Uh-huh.
and paper clip it down.
Together.
And then we put sticks, so we added all of it on top for
Yeah,
extra
for weight.
For extra weight to keep it weighted down? That was very smart. Good job,
So
you
it
guys.
just, like,
And I added
Alrighty. Well, first, I see a big entry that a big bad wolf could get in, but that wasn't the test. Let's see if it stays up. Are you ready?
Yeah. No.
Here I go.
Please.
Good job. Good job, you guys. What was y'all's strategy? Giovanni?
Well,
This group over here.
I was kind of thinking either way those doors are open, they're like kind of see-through glass, so it's kind of like a,
So you were pretending they were glass? Okay.
yeah, like a So my strategy was to make like a little defense for the bad wolf cannot get into the sidewalk.
Very good. Okay, what I need from you is to clean up your areas. Make sure the lids are on the Play-Doh so it doesn't dry out, and then take a seat back onto the carpet.
That injury was like so bad.
Just put them back in the bin, please.
This
This group is ready.
Come on. The best injury. I can't believe we did that in. Just leave it on there. We have to keep this Play-Doh.
Let's go, guys. Quickly, come on, clean up.
There, Play-Doh.
Do the best you can to get it off that card.
Okay. We'll start putting in.
Alrighty. While they finish up, they can listen from there. They're pretty close. Did you guys have a good time today?
Yeah.
Yes. Who can tell me one thing that they learned today? Yes, sir.
We're pretty good.
Listen to, try, listen if someone.
Oh, so you learned a lesson from the fairy tale. If someone knocks on your door, be careful about who it is. Okay?
Don't be mean to me.
Okay, because then what'll happen? You'll upset the other person, right? That last pig was mean to the wolf, and then he lost it. Huh? Yes.
I learned that we could use strategies to build houses.
You could use strategies to build houses? Yeah, and do you think it was easier working together with someone?
Yes.
Yeah, imagine if you had to do that by yourself. You wouldn't get to, bounce ideas off one another, right? Yeah. It's always good to work in teams. Yes, ma'am.
I learned how to make friends out of working ideas with my friends.
Yeah, sharing ideas lets you have more friends. Yes, ma'am.
I learned in the book that don't eat other people.
To what?
Don't
eat other people? Yes, ma'am.
I learned that if you share your ideas, you can get something more amazing than you made of things yourself.
That is a great thing to take away from this. Okay, I really appreciate you guys all participating today, and I had a great time working with you. I want you to look at a neighbor and say, high five, bro.
High five, bro.
All righty, good job, you guys. Thank you.